Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Islam. Honors and praise to the Creator, the great God of the universe. You know, honors and praise to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know, gotta give respect where respect is due. Big ups to and much respect to Grand Temple 2A, Moor Science Temple of America, Temple 2A, 1, North Carolina. You know, big ups, respect, Islam all day. So, I'm doing this walking thing, and mostly just because I want to. It's always a choice, is it not? Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. So, that's what this video is about today. We're going to discuss a couple of things. We're going to relate law and your inalienable rights. Okay? We're going to put those facts together. Previous videos, if you haven't already checked them out, on just who the real white people are, and the follow-up video to those two, which was colorable law. Like, what we're doing is we're just dissecting the system. I have to show you how to make these different incisions and come and draw these different conclusions in order for you to come to your own discovery. Okay? So, why am I walking? Okay, before I even start in on why I'm walking, you know, give my little caveat. Following is not for legal, medical, or financial advice or purposes. It's educational, informational, and mildly entertaining purposes only. If you need a lawyer, if you need a doctor, if you need an accountant or IRS consultant, those services are available to you for free if you know where to look. But I strongly advise that you take matters into your own hands, and not meaning represent yourself in those aspects. But if you can, if you do the knowledge, taking your own affairs into your own hands, that's real adult-like, you know. Not things a minor would do, not things minorities would do. All right, real white people stand up. Okay, so let's get into this. Why am I walking? I'm walking for a couple of different reasons. One, because I like the sun. I don't necessarily like the toxic fumes that are going on, but hey, you gotta take what you can get, right? You know, you take the gifts with the curses sometimes. And so here it is that I'm walking because I enjoy to walk, but also because I don't drive. Or at least I don't engage in commercial driving, all right, which is completely different from traveling. All right, now if you look up the definitions between driving, it is for commercial purposes. Okay, if you look up traveling, these are usually private purposes. It's personal. All right, you could be traveling for spiritual reasons, educational reasons, charitable reasons. All of those reasons that you're traveling, quite frankly, you have the right to do those things. You know what I'm saying? You have the complete inalienable right to do those things. How do I know? How do you know that you have the right to do those things? Well, didn't the Creator give you legs? Didn't the Creator endow you with the capacity to operate man's machines? Yeah. All right. So you know that those things, you don't have to sit still just because you're without, you know, or you don't have transportation. So what happens? All right, so if that's inalienable, then let's go back to rights versus privileges. You cannot turn a right into a privilege. All right, inalienable rights. You have the right to life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. All right, that is secured by the United States Constitution of 1871. That's the second Constitution. You might want to become very familiar with what those constitutions are, because there's actually two. And then you actually have a state constitution too, because the state, you know, the state in which you reside in, or the state in which you perform commercial activity in, you know, make your financial living, you know, your commercial living, those states all accepted the Constitution at different times. You know, and you would just, like, you know, for proof of that, you would just basically just check out the establishment date or the incorporation date of your city or your state, whenever your state was formed. Florida, territory of Al-Andalus, was established in approximately 1820. All right. Now, there might be some debate about that, but just look on the Florida seal. You'll see all you need to see, including proof of just who the real owners of the land are. Because they got permission. They were leased. It was a lease agreement. It's home ownership, you know. And only the owner of the home can lease the land. Hence, lord of the land, the landlord. We talked about that. Go right back to that status of purity. That pure white status. We're not talking about complexion of skin. We're talking about the complexion of the law. All right, which is based on origin, nationality, nationhood. All great words you may want to define in your own time. You know, but let's keep going. Isn't this some beautiful art? Some beautiful stuff over here. The city that I do my commercial activity in is riddled with beautiful art, you know. So, in any case, right to travel is not one to be turned into a privilege. How would you turn a right to travel into a privilege, you ask? Easy. You go to your state and you ask them for a driver's license. Isn't that interesting? That's shocking, but not to say the least. It's only interesting because you don't understand how you're being licensed or being privileged to do so. They tell you that driving, once again, driving is a privilege. It's not a right. Driving is a privilege. So, if you feel like you're responsible enough to engage in your God-given rights, and I suggest you strongly look into how to protect those things. Alright? Now, I've already made mention that the license converts your right into a privilege. And if a driver's license does that, a license to do any type of commercial activity does that same thing. Your right to contract shall not be infringed upon. You're going to have to look at the maxims of law. That's another thing you might want to look into. Maxims of law. And there are about 10 really, really good ones. There are more than just 10, but there are really just 10 good ones you just want to check out. One of them is, how's it go? A man is entitled to eat whatever it is he works for, right? A man is entitled to his contract, you know, his fair wages, something along those lines. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? But all that just to say, licenses, privileges, and your rights. If you study more, you can do a whole lot more. Like rescind your driver's license contract and get other contracts that supersede it. So, that being said, I have reached my traveling destination. Got my exercise and my vitamin D. So much love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 2 on the right, 5 on the left. Islam. Peace.